Good evening, welcome back to the channel. I'm Rich. If you're new here, hey, what's up? Today, we're going to be taking a look at the three most popular titans of the music streaming service industry: Spotify, YouTube, and Apple Music, right? Crazy enough, we live in a time where almost everything is subscription based now, and it gets harder and harder every day when these money-hungry corporations leave us no choice but to choose which music service industry we should be going to. Anyways, there's a lot to talk about amongst all three services. I'm going to break it down for you easily. This includes all my experience and opinion on the UI, the algorithm, features, the sound quality, the website app. And if you just want to hear my answer to which I like the best right now, well, my Spotify student plan recently expired because I'm no longer a student. I graduated my university just a few months ago. They were giving me that sweet $4.99 deal a month, but since that expired, I've been jumping back to Apple Music and YouTube using their free trials, and I have used Apple Music before for a good year, so I've been all over the place. And if I were to renew again, I'd probably go with Spotify, and that's only because there's a few teeny tiny reasons that made me choose that over the other two, which I'll tell you why. I think at the time of this recording, it's like $10.99 across all three if you have the individual plan. I think the best strategy if you want to save a lot of money is to get the family plan, which you can add up to 6 people, and that's going to cost you around $16.99. And if you can get all 6 people on board, the cost can get as low as like $3 a month, which is an absolute steal. The problem is with that though is, well, you got to get a lot of people on board. And you gotta have one that's like the designated spender, and at the end of the month, I don't know, maybe pay them and Venmo them, who knows. So ask your friends, family, roommates, anyone close by that you trust, because we gotta make our way somehow, and these family plans are pretty good. So I'm bringing out the red iPhone 11 out today. Alright, isn't she beautiful? All three streaming services are gonna look a little bit similar with some slight design differences. Alright, so the first app we're gonna look at is Spotify. Let's boot this up. This is the first thing you're gonna see on the screen. You have all the options up here like music, podcasts, and audiobooks. And then when we come back to the home screen, you have some of your albums and playlists listed up top. These are the ones that Spotify thinks you're most familiar with, or some of these are matching the genres that you're currently listening to right now. And you can tell that Spotify does have a lot of cover arts, a lot of GIFs and videos down, so they keep the homepage pretty lively. It's almost like, you know, booting into like a social media page and getting right into the content of your favorite artists. When you go to an artist, it's laid out pretty nicely. You have a picture of the cover art up there, some of all the songs you like, and Spotify will list the top 5 songs from the artists right up here that they think is definitely been getting some traction, or people think was pretty good. You'll see some popular releases and stuff that they've recently done, and then you can see all their releases, their albums and singles that they made. You'll see the About tab at the bottom, which you can read up into and see what's up. And yeah, it's pretty straightforward. So let's play one of the songs real quick. Midsummer Madness is always a classic hit. I'm gonna turn the volume down so I don't get copyright striked. And when you listen to the song, it's gonna have the cover art. You have the shuffle, play and pause, repeat, share, and the lyrics that are down here. And the lyrics do sync up with the time. So you can just press this to expand a little bit further and kind of see the lyrics as they come and go. One feature that I really like about Spotify, which is not offered on the other two, is that if you press this button down here, you can actually transfer the current device that's playing on onto another device. So something like your desktop, your PS5, or go to something like your Bluetooth speaker and come back to your phone, or even something like your wireless earbuds. So if I transfer this over to my desktop, right now it's currently playing on my computer on my left-hand side. And this is really cool because if you are away from your speaker or anything that's playing, you can actually start playing the audio from your phone back here. Sometimes Spotify will also play like a little GIF or a GIF depending on the songs that you see. For example, let's see Justin Bieber, right? Let's see what he got going on. You pull this up, you'll see like a video play. And it'll like repeat GIF, however you want to call it. Tell me down in the comments what you say. I think the user interface of Spotify is very bubbly, very intuitive, nicely laid out. And as far as a web player, this is also very nicely laid out too. And I spend a lot of my time on the Spotify web version building playlists and playing songs from this and other devices as well. Alright, so let's talk about my experience with the algorithm and song selection. You know, what are they recommending me? Do I like the songs that they're giving me? And this is of course hard to explain because each service has their own way of recommending music, and I don't think any person can single-handedly fathom the amount or scale of all this computer calculations and algorithms and all that stuff. Basically everything that goes into finding and recommending these songs to you. Here's my favorite analogy. Spotify is like walking into your local music store and asking the dude, hey, I want to find some new songs. And it's like, hey, if you like X artist, you know, I think you'll like some other Y artists here, since they're in the same genre of music, and X people also like the music that's coming from Y music. And a lot of AI goes into this, so your listening history, your albums, your song selection, your playlist, all those are taken into consideration. And Spotify has recently been pushing a lot of AI focused music and DJs and all this stuff that's catering to you. And so sometimes I do feel like Spotify is pushing a lot of songs and content in my face a lot, and this could be good or bad for some people. I'm always open to listen to some new music, so the approach here is definitely different. Now with Apple Music, the analogy analogy I can give here is like, imagine you walk into like a big box store and you ask the sales clerk, hey, I want to find some songs. The seller there will probably point you to a rack of like the top 10 songs of what's currently popular because he thinks you'll like them too. And I do feel like a lot of songs fit in the same artistic composition, similarities in form and subject matter. It feels a little bit more grounded, like you kind of know what you want and you kind of know what you expect, and they don't really rely on too much computer-based algorithms or AI as much. And what about YouTube Music? Mixed opinions on this. I think it's okay. I think this feels the most grounded. Like if I want to find a song right now, a popular hit or something super underground that nobody knows about, I could find it on there because it is leveraging, you know, YouTube's entire database of songs and everything that's posted there. The recommended songs that they give me are very genre-based. Sometimes they even repeat themselves a lot more than I'm used to with Spotify and Apple Music, which can be good or bad. That depends on the type of person you are. Amongst all three, that's like the best description I can give right now. If you have any other inputs or insights, leave them down in the comments below of what you think the algorithm has done for you. At the end of the day, right, all three services are gonna give you a free trial depending on which email you use. So I definitely do recommend that you sign up for that and tell me what you think. All right, next up, we're gonna take a look at Apple Music. Right away, I think this boots up a little bit faster depending on the iPhone that you have. And many of you iPhone users out there kind of appreciate how Apple optimizes for speed. I think the UI definitely seems a little bit more classier, a little bit more modern. They don't throw too much things at you at the very front, especially on the home page. They do cram a lot towards the bottom though, which can get a little bit messy, but the browse page right here has a bunch of other artists that you may want to explore, want to see. So this is nice, but I don't really use this as much as I would like to. And as far as the library page, this is much more simple. You have all the folders listed out like playlists, artists, albums, songs, genres, and composers, anything that's recently added. And it's very direct, very straightforward, and I know exactly what I'm gonna get. I feel like with Spotify sometimes, they do a lot with algorithm and just listening history. So the albums and playlists that you usually had up at the top are gonna be listed up there. But if you have any albums or anything else that you listen to before, like way down the list, those are gonna get shifted to the top as well. So they always wanna put, you know, anything that's current, anything that's first and active up at the very top. All Apple Music is a little bit more rigid, a little bit more stagnant in how they lay things out. And I feel like Apple Music, you can find your music faster. But yeah, playlists, very easily laid out, tells you what you need to know. We'll go in the search bar real quick. We'll go to Drake. The top songs are a little bit different. They put it in like a horizontal box which you can swipe over, so you get 8 of them. Essential albums are listed right there, any music videos that they put on, and so forth. But if you play a song right now, you can see that this definitely looks a little bit more classier, a little bit more glassier if you think it's, you know, kind of transparent. They got a lot of good UI design on this. If you want to see the lyrics, just press down the bottom left, and this is very buttery smooth, and I think this looks a little bit better than Spotify in my opinion. Just look at the way that it's presenting the lyrics and just running it through. It's very, very jumpy, very, very bubbly, classy, and clean, you know? Down here, this is where you can control AirPlay. And we know, as with anything else Apple, they always have an ecosystem. So it's the best that you pair this up with like a HomePod, your MacBook, or any other Apple devices. And it's a little bit more limited than Spotify. Down here, you'll see what's playing next, the queue, and some other things. Building playlists on here is actually pretty cool too. You can press the star to like the song, press the 3-button icon here. And you can just add this to whatever you like. I think Apple is a little bit more straightforward with their approach. Some may like it, some may not, because with Apple Music, I feel like I can get to right where I want to be quicker and faster. And this is what the Apple Music web player looks like too. Cleaner, white, the icons and all that do look a little bit smaller. They're trying to fit one whole look when it comes to it. So in my opinion, I do like Spotify a little bit better because it seems like they put a little bit more effort in terms of keeping things very interesting. And we all know that Apple likes making things simple and clean. This approach does look very iTunes to me. And I kind of grew up, you know, downloading songs from iTunes onto my iPod when I was younger. So I do have a very soft spot for Apple Music. And the biggest noticeable difference about Apple Music is that they have the highest quality sounds coming out of it. Their lossless audio quality sounds so good. Sometimes when I'm driving in my car or something, Apple Music will sound so much better than it does on Spotify. And something like putting on some nice pair of headphones, you can just tell and you can just notice it. I don't know why Spotify is not pushing for higher res audio. It's been like several years now. All right, let's take a look at YouTube Music. Now, this is gonna have a very similar approach to something that you would see from Google, something like Google Chrome or Gmail or any of those Google apps that you're familiar with. It will just, you know, look kind of like it. Very Google based. With YouTube Music, a lot of these songs will actually feel like you're watching like a video. And the unique part about YouTube Music here is that if your song does have a video, you can normally just press the video option, just watch it. Let me pull up an example for you. Here we got Justin Bieber again. You press the video page and this will show you a music video and you can actually just watch this. And the good thing with YouTube Music is that it's leveraging YouTube's entire library of music. So this is the one strong suit that it has over the other two. Yeah, basically any song, any underground music, anything from the past 100, 200, 300 years, I don't know, or maybe that one video that your friend posted to listen to that got like 10 views will be listed on YouTube Music. And that's the good thing about it, is that you have a huger, way bigger library than the others. But yeah, this looks really YouTube based. I mean, you got likes, you got dislikes, you can see the comments of what people are saying, which is kind of cool. And building playlists is easier on here as well. As for the lyrics, if we press down here, it doesn't look as clean as something like Apple, but it still works. You have the related songs, some things that Google thinks that you may like. What's cool about this is you can also cast this to like anything else that uses Google services too, like your TV or a monitor, just to name a few. One thing that I think Google is also taking a lot of inspiration from Instagram and TikTok is that they also have the sample page. This is basically like YouTube Shorts. I mean, what they said here is that if you want to explore and find new songs, you can see snippets of what other artists are creating, which is just another way of Google making you stay in the app longer. But it is a neat trick. Some may like it, some may not. I use this sometimes if I'm bored and maybe I want to see some more. The Explore page isn't as heavy as Spotify either. You have everything here listed, like your releases and podcasts and whatnot. And then this is your library. So any playlists and songs, albums that you like will be put here. And I think this is the easiest to build playlists from. But yeah, it all comes down to user preferences. And with YouTube Music, we're back with a black interface. We got a dark theme here. This looks very YouTube to me. I mean, it looks no different than if I were to search up a YouTube video and add some playlists to make some videos and all that stuff. But yeah, we have like the likes and dislikes, the volume controls, shuffles, and everything that's up next. As far as usability across all devices, I feel like Spotify definitely does the best when it comes to integration. Using Spotify on your phone is gonna look the same as something as your desktop or something like your PS5. It's very fluid, very intuitive. Spotify definitely does look cool on the big screen, and the integration is very nice. Now with Apple Music, yes, you are locked to Apple's ecosystem once again, so using different devices is gonna be a little bit more difficult. If you're an Android user out there, good luck. The last thing I do also want to mention is that Spotify kind of treats their app more like a social media page. You can see different people's public profile, you can see the playlists that they make, you can like follow them, you can unfollow them, you can share their profile amongst other people. So I can definitely understand their approach. But then we can't leave out your boy YouTube Music. I mean, they're not making it easier over here either, because if you get the YouTube Premium plan, which is only like a few more bucks, $2 to $4 more extra dollars, you will have YouTube completely ad free and you get YouTube Music. So make sure to factor that into consideration. Like I said, tell me what you guys think down in the comments below. Tell me what services have done the best for you. What do you like? What are your interests? And I just want to know your thoughts. Like I said, I'll be sticking with Spotify for now, but that's subject to change in the near future if anything were to happen. So hit that subscribe and like button for your boy. And until the next video, guys, I'll see you then.